Hello, good afternoon. It's Bernadette, or good evening, or good morning, depending on where in the world you are watching me. It is Saturday here in Washington State in the US. It could be Sunday where you are. You could just be waking up if you're in Australia. Either way, welcome. Say hello when you get here so that I know that you're here. Hi, it's been one of those days where it's like go, go, go. And now I've decided just to slow down. Had to finish up an astrology chart this morning and was pushing around some ideas and stuff. Hi, Valkyrie. And there's been these messages, Spirit's been talking to me all morning. And I wanted to share some of this stuff with you guys because it's definitely ongoing stuff that I keep getting calls about. So I'm going to give you just a minute to get here before I get too much into this. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Wendy. Say hello when you get here. Share the video. My daughter shared it, I think. She has my phone. She's supposed to share it. So like I said, I want to give you guys a minute to get here. I'm not trying to dawdle or anything. And I'm trying to get my brain on track. How many of you have felt very scattered this week? You've been feeling extreme exhaustion. And then when it comes time to sleep, you can't stay asleep. Hi, Stephanie. Have you guys been feeling that? How many of you have felt headaches, have had random headaches when you don't normally get them, or if you do get them, they've been more extreme lately in the last week and a half? Hi, Lisa. Because that is part of this energy that we are all going through. And I want to answer some questions about that too today, because I've had a lot of messages come through. You've been getting them too, Sheila? Yeah, the headache thing is kind of annoying. The ear ringing, high pitch, is very annoying too. And it doesn't seem to be letting up. Today, my headache has passed. Yesterday was intense. But the scatteredness, the inability to really stay focused and kind of feeling very ADD when I'm not typically ADD, has been ridiculous as well. Extra tired, can't sleep through the night. Nope. Migraine lasts 2 days. Actually took a day off to rest, but was restless. Yes, that's exactly what's going on with this energy for a lot of people. And so I wanted to tell you guys, if you are going through this, and you're feeling like, am I sick? What's going on? It's not just you. It is the energy. We are having a lot of solar flare activity happening. And whenever that happens and the solar radiation gets high, while we can't see these things happen, you guys can follow it on spaceweather.com. When you can't see that energy happening, but there's this influx of energy, it does tend to make the sun look funny, a little more bright. Your eyes will be a little more sensitive. The last few days, my eyes have been hypersensitive to light. And the way things look appear differently. Someone was asking Burning Gold about that. And it does have something to do with that. Like when we have a break in the Earth's atmosphere, and more solar radiation comes through, it changes the way things appear, right? The light is reflected and refracted differently. But on top of that, it's a higher pulse of energy. So as empaths or sensitives or just ordinary people, we're going to feel the impact of that excess solar energy. We've had a couple Earth-facing coronal mass ejections, so energy coming off of the sun. It's really quite beautiful and fascinating to watch and to see the pictures from NASA. And it did create some really cool auroras in Switzerland, Norway, that area. But it doesn't go without its effect on the human body. We are actually being affected by that energy. So it does feel like an intense energy. And it can, you either getting super charged up and a little scattered, or it's draining you, and it feels very draining. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you. If you've been going through that, you're not alone and you're not crazy and you're not sick, but your body is just trying to absorb and adjust to all of this excess energy that we aren't necessarily used to. And like I said, when the Earth's atmosphere kind of gives way, and we take on excess energy from the sun, it changes things, right? So that's the first thing. But the messages that I've been getting from spirit and the questions I've been getting a lot of in readings this week and coaching sessions this week has been about blocks. I've had a couple people say to me, I feel like I've been working on myself for the last few years. When does it stop? When am I just going to be done? You're never going to be done with your growth. If that's what you're looking for, if you're waiting for the pinnacle of growth and then you're done, you're going to be very frustrated, and you're going to sort of create more blocks for yourself, if that makes sense. We are here to grow, evolve, and to remember who we really are. So depending on the amount of layering of the ego that you have, or trauma or drama that you've experienced in life, the more you have to unlayer, and the more you have to clear. Blockages come when we are hurt. Blockages come when we experience fear, when we experience attachment, when we cast judgment, when we do any of that, it creates resistance. And I've found this last week especially that the people calling me and asking me for readings are in a place of massive resistance, and they're not understanding why things aren't moving forward. Those of you who've done some work on yourself, you can probably already identify places where you are resistant. Some of us have resistance to success, and we don't even know we have it. In Charm Life, we've been working a lot on different things to unblock, to unlayer. And there is a whole lot of people that don't even realize till they start doing work with me how much they are resistant to success, to being gifted, to being happy. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that are trying to have relationships, or they're already in relationships, that have a resistance to being happy. Their set point has been such that they're used to being happy. In fact, they don't even know what that feels like. So anything that starts to feel out of their normal comfort zone of unhappy, dissatisfied, they will do things to sabotage. You may do that in your own life. I have found, funny enough, the last few weeks in just dealing with my new business and talking to some entrepreneur clients and coaching them through their businesses, there is a thing when you start to go to the next level, or you're adding something on and you're beginning to expand financially, that because our set point, our comfort zone financially, and we all have one where we're comfortable at this level, you want to take it up a notch. You really want it. Consciously, you want it. Unconsciously, there's many fears. So then there's this resistance, and you don't understand how you're doing or thinking or not doing things that is creating that sabotage in your own success. So it's important to unblock those things on all levels: relationships, health, and we do it to our health too. Sometimes we get so adjusted and so used to the labels of our sicknesses that we just we accept the label of an illness, right? Or a mental illness or whatever, and we stay below that line of what we were told our diagnosis was, and then it blocks us from overcoming it. I've overcome enough in my life to know that there is nothing we cannot change. Everything is changeable. Maybe you change being a paraplegic, or you can't change having, being an amputee. But you can change your attitude and your perception about it. You can keep the limits away from it. It's all about shifting the mind and shifting the emotions. And right now, there is a push to shift and change and manifest things very differently. We are into a whole new zodiac new year. The energy is still building. We're still dealing with a whole lot of Pisces energy, and will be through the end of April. Mercury is still retrograde and will continue to affect us even in the shadow period past March 28th, when Mercury goes direct. We will have it until about the 16th of April. There's energies that are still wanting us to connect to spirit and making it easier for us to do so. That's the plus side of all of this energy. With all these planets in Pisces, your dreams and the veil is thin. So your dreams and the connection in your dreams to those who've crossed over, your spirit guides and spirit in general, angels, much easier to access. During your waking life, your intuition is much more heightened. But a robin just landed on my tree. Hello. It's like one of my totem animals. And is all about new beginnings and growth and change. Hi, Jeff. But what I want to tell you is this. All of that connection stuff with spirit, with the Pisces energy, as much as we have the Aries energy moving forward and pushing us to action, we've got to deal with all of this watery emotional stuff still. We're in the shadow of Mercury through the 16th of April, like I said, which means we still have to deal with like a little rougher energy when it comes to communicating within our partnerships and within ourselves. There's just a weird energy happening. Anything that you are resistant about, anywhere you have a fear or a block, it is coming to your awareness and has been for the last month. And you're still going to have to deal with it. You need to clear it out of the way. To carry that baggage from last year, and when I say year, I'm talking the zodiac year, right? We came out of the water, out of the emotions. We just entered into the fire of Aries. We just entered into the new year, a new zodiac year. And energetically, it is like a fresh new beginning. So we go into the underworld and into the emotions through the whole month of February and March, you know, with all this Pisces energy and all of this watery crap. And now we're going into the movement of action and growth. And it's accelerated right now. It all feels very much like we are being asked to evolve spiritually, mentally, emotionally at an accelerated pace. And while people are like, I don't like it, I don't like the growth, when can it stop? It can't. Like, we need to, as a planet, as humanity, we need to take on this mantle and bring it forward. Love, opposite of fear. You know, energetically, love is exactly on the opposite end. It's not hate and love that are opposites. It's love and fear that are opposites. Fear is the opposite. Hate falls under the category of fear. A lot of people are reacting to things in fear right now. You don't need to. Bring your light, shine your light, remember who you are, and stand in that place of love right now. Love for yourself means facing your shadows, facing your blocks, recognizing where you have resistance. You know, is it resistance to dealing with other people's reactions? Do you have a resistance to doing something new? Do you have a resistance or a blockage to taking things to a whole other level of success? Do you have a resistance to coming out of your comfort zone? You feel very charged and pushed. My dreams have been very active. Yep. And that's, you know, and you've done some working and releasing your own resistance this month, Sheila. So of course you feel 10 times lighter. It's funny, that which we resist weighs us down, and we don't even know how much it's weighing us down until we're willing to sit with it and face it and recognize it. And if you can't do that on your own, that's when you call me, right? That's when you schedule a session, because I got no problem like diving right through it and going, this is what it is over here beyond this wall that you've put up, pretending like you can't see it, right? That's where the block is. But what you can accomplish beyond the resistance, and when you let go of your blocks, it's amazing how fast things just start to unfold in a powerful, positive way. Right now, a lot of you are dealing with struggles with relationships, you know, or endings. And at this time, we're having to process through a lot of endings and changes. Hi, Lisa. It's not easy to let go when we go through loss. It's not easy to let go of our comfort zone. But I urge all of you and invite you to embrace the changes that bring you to the place of being on the path of your highest good, right? Highest good and what we want sometimes seem in conflict, but at the heart of it, when you peel away the way it looks and the way things are showing up, at the heart of it, our highest good is the essence of what it is we want to experience. We just see it packaged very differently sometimes. Amazing what you learn about oneself in one way, in a one-on-one with you. Ah, yes. Thank you. I appreciate that, Sheila. I try. It's amazing what spirit can bring through, you know, to this day, to this moment. I'm still amazed what spirit can bring through if I would just get out of the way. And I try really, really hard to get out of the way. And I do You know, I'm human. Sometimes it's not so easy, especially if someone's bringing me a lot of resistance. I've worked with long enough that it's easy to get beyond your walls. And I like doing things in a humorous way, in a light way, in a way that doesn't feel like judgment or condemnation, right? I want to do it lovingly, deliver that message lovingly, and give you every reason to embrace what you're really meant to embrace, and then pluck away the things that are blocking you. But right now, if you guys are feeling this, it's changing, I'm changing, I'm sort of feeling like there's things I don't know what I should be doing, or I'm running in circles. Lots of people are chasing their tails right now because we're very tied to their judgments, their beliefs, and sometimes even our religious beliefs. A lot of times our religious beliefs get in the way of our actual ability to be spiritual beings in a state of love. Unfortunately, those things are being exposed as well globally, and then it's up to us individually to do that in our own lives, right? What was I watching last night? Grey's Anatomy. I was watching Grey's Anatomy, and it was so cute because Richard, I don't know if you guys watch that show. He's one of the older guys that's been on that show. There is a patient that she came in and she's like, I'm not a him or a her, I'm a they. And he had such a hard time making the shift. He's like, I don't understand why it can't. Like, it doesn't sound right to me, you know. And the younger generation of doctors was trying to explain to him what the pronoun thing is and why it is. And he's like, you know, I'm trying, having a really hard time with it. And I thought it was very interesting because that is what we're going through on a global scale right now. We have been so used to, so accustomed to thinking about things in a certain way, thinking about God in a certain way, that anytime something new comes in our understanding, anytime something comes to open up a new possibility, and it goes against our old school beliefs, even if our old school beliefs are very limiting and very judgmental, we have a hard time accepting it. We have a hard time shifting and changing it. And it's interesting that was the show that I ended up watching last night, because we were just talking about that, me and my daughter, about how many people are having such a hard time with the new generation and their reference points to sexuality, right, and gender reality, like the pronoun thing and transgender, asexual, and all these different references and identifications that weren't there like before. Now we're having to talk about things very differently, but it does open up that place. I mean, a lot of people will say, oh, it's so dangerous. Like religious folks will say it's so dangerous to do that. You open that up and then it opens up. I don't think so. I think it allows the freedom of expression that has been suppressed on this planet in humanity for thousands of years. And it's time to take the lid off. Any kind of expression of oneself should be, as long as it's in love and it's not in hate, but the true expression of one's essence should be allowed. However that turns about. You want to be called they? Fine. That's not a problem to me. Like, I don't see a problem with any of it. What I do see a problem with is that the old school, the old guard, hi Beverly, is having a hard time getting out of the way and handing the baton to the next generation, right? We've always done things this way. This is the way it should be. It's kind of like my dad and his smartphone. He wanted one for so long. I buy him one at Christmas and he curses at the thing because it's too much like a computer, which I told him for 6 months, that is what it's going to be like. He can't seem to get past just the normal dial. Now it's just this flat screen. I like pushing the buttons. I'm like, but the buttons aren't needed, Dad. So, you know, like, you knew that we were going to change this. Like, when are you going to just accept it? And his way of doing things, he's very stuck on anytime a Gmail comes through on his phone or a notification of an update, he freaks out. It's a virus. Is it a virus? He'll bring his phone to me at 11 o'clock at night. Look, this just came through. Is it a virus? I'm like, you need to chill. Like, I've set your phone up where it's safe. You don't need to worry. And we don't have any of your personal information in there aside from your name and your phone number and your address that anyone can steal. So relax. But his mind is so much old school paranoia, and he's listened to all these conspiracies about all kinds of crap. He's terrified that somehow, because he doesn't understand new technology, that people are just going to reach into his phone and steal something from him. I'm like, that's not the way these things work anymore, Dad. They're very secure. Yes, sometimes you can get ripped off, but that's only if you have information on your phone. The old guard is a mentality. It is. And no, it isn't just about age either. But I see it in our politics. The old guard won't let go, even though your system doesn't work. It hasn't worked for a long time. And there's many of us that want to push beyond the old way of doing things. Technology is forcing us to think about things very different. As much as I don't agree with AI, artificial intelligence stuff, and I think that we have to be very careful what we open up to with artificial intelligence. There's no two ways about it. We're going there, right? A lot of people think that as AI takes over more and more things, that there's less room for humanity. I don't think that that's true. And I think if we're resistant to that as well, we're going to get left behind. But equally, from the standpoint of spirituality, if we do not start embracing some new concepts, like the fact that God can be both male and female, God and goddess, right? If we don't start accepting the fact that not one religion has it right, but many religions have strands of truth all making up the tapestry that is universal truth, if we don't allow that, we're going to get left behind in a very fast changing world. You know, I'm not trying to down anyone's religion. I believe lots of truths in different religions, but I do know that as now that we're into this sort of new zodiac cycle, it is all about new revelation. It's about embracing new understanding. Old concepts will even be shifted and changed enough for people to begin to understand that the way we apply the truths has to shift and change, and we need to shift and change with it. There's so much happening right now. I mean, even in the world of astrology, we're still learning new things about the placements of the planets and how the asteroids are actually affecting things. You throw in solar wind and solar weather and CMEs and a whole different sort of way that we feel things on this planet, it changes everything. And we can't be stuck with what we think we knew. Hey, Mark, definitely a mentality. I'm only 58. My son tells me all the time I'm stuck in the Stone Age. There are some things some things we actually need to take technology out of, like the manufacturing of our food. I think it's better to make food homegrown, farm grown, organic. Obviously, all of these chemicals and all of this other crap is not good for us. Our bodies can't handle it. There's other things that I think we need to give way to technology for. We need to be open to change. Mother Nature is transforming as well. Yeah, in a big way. I mean, there's so much right now. Our understanding about paranormal, supernatural, there are still people very resistant to the idea that we are all intuitive, that we are all gifted in one way or another, right? There are people that still believe that you have to go to seminary school to be able to give forth a message from God. God has never chosen his prophets from who got an A in seminary school or theology school. Like, that's not how, no, he used a jackass. Therefore, we all have gifts. We all have to begin to use them. We are living in a time, I mean, one of the, I think, greatest leaps in technology, if we can really understand the gift of what technology has done, social media and the internet has done for humanity, is making us understand that you can actually communicate with someone on the other side of the planet in real time. Having that ability to understand the possibility of it means that we can open our minds to telepathy far more than we did before. And being empathic, and the understanding of being empathic and telepathic because we have this whole thing with cell phones and computers that can reach across the globe at any given moment and show us what's going on in real time, we've opened to the understanding that, oh, so I can be thinking over here and my friend over in Australia can feel that I'm thinking about her. Wow, that's pretty cool. Way more acceptable now than before we had these technological advancements, right? Now people are like, okay, well, if technology has gotten to where it is, what else don't I know is possible, right? That's where we're at right now. So I am actually grateful for that stuff, because the information about psychic gifts is spreading, different spiritual beliefs is spreading, different phenomena, miracles is spreading. Yes, we see a lot of crap on social media. Yes, we see some horrible things happening in the world. But at the same time, there are positive, inspiring, miraculous things happening. And because we're connected globally with the worldwide web, we actually have the ability to see what's going on miraculously across the globe, what's going on in the hearts of those who are kind across the globe at any given moment. It's what do we tune into? The reason I think Spirit wanted me to share all this with you guys today is to spread open your head, like to a place where you begin to ask more questions. The more questions you ask, the more your blocks become unseated, right? The more you're willing to look at something from many different views, the more of that thing you will be able to see. You'll be able to understand the nuances and see more and more from a standpoint of depth what something is and what something isn't. But if we're only going to look one-dimensionally at something, just what's in front of me, and we're not willing to go out beyond our current understanding, we block ourselves. Right now, there is so much available to you on so many levels, whether that's with love, or that's with finance, or that's with success or health. I mean, no joke. I had neck surgery in India. You know, who would have thought back in 2010, but back in 2000, back in the 90s, I would never have considered or thought that they far exceeded where we were at with the US with surgery and disc replacement that happened in India before it was even legal here in the US. I would have never thought 20 years ago that that was even a possibility. Like, there was not enough information. There was not enough understanding of the difference in medical care or information available to do the research to get to that place of having that possibility available to me. There's all kinds of stuff like that out there right now. We are awakening to it, and it's going to move very fast throughout the rest of 2019. 2020 is the year that we are sort of getting propped up for right now. 2020 is a change year. Like, look at the numerology, right? Two is about partnership. It's about union. It's about cooperation. It's about balance. 2 and 0. 0 is about the inner gifts, right? Our psychic gifts. You double that number, 2020. It's going to be amplified. We are going into a totally different way of relating. 2020 comes to a 4. What is 4? 4 is stabilization. 4 is process. 4 is foundation. 4 is sacred. Everyone that studies the spiritual stuff, astrology, numerology, we're all looking to 2020 because everything that happens this year is building, and why you'll hear throughout the rest of this year many references to 2020, because that is a huge change in 2020. We set a whole new foundation, and then the next year is a 5-year. 5, you guys know, it's the Tower card. It's like the Tower card. It's quick change, quick revolution, quick transformation. We set a new foundation, and then we build to change the whole entire thing in 2021. The next few years are going to be super powerful. I don't care how old or how young you are. The next few years are going to be hugely transformative and a little bit shocking to the system for some people. This year, 2019, is all about getting in line with the self. It is a 3-year. And this month of March, we've doubled the 3, the sensitivity, the self-expression, the empathic stuff, all highly charged, because we're in the month of Pisces too. Thankfully, we're getting out of it, but there's still a lot of planetary energies in Pisces and getting ready to move into the 4. So next month, April, you guys are going to get a little bit of a sampling of what we have to look forward to in 2020. There is a lot of change. People are getting knocked off their freaking pedestals right now. You might be one of them. I know for me, a lot of stuff that was unconscious when it comes to business has come to the surface for me. Relationship stuff is coming up for me as well. And I'm not even focusing on it. It's just stuff that's coming up, and Spirit saying, okay, you saw it now. Thank you for finally paying attention, Bernadette. You need to clear this right here. A lot of you are going through that. And it will continue. I can't tell you guys it's going to all of a sudden be unicorns and rainbows. I wish I could. What I can tell you is the more you clear your blocks, the more you release your resistance, the more you get on the path of your highest good, the more you will experience the flood of good things coming your way. But it is going to take some work on your part. This is not a time to just float in the pool. This is get your muscles built and start swimming. Right? If you sit still, all you're doing is treading water, and eventually you're going to get tired. You're going to sink, have a dark night of the soul, and then you're going to have to build anyways and grow anyways and do that work anyways. So wouldn't it be easier to just kind of get to work now is the point. So that's what I wanted to share with you. This went a little longer than I expected. Typical Bernadette. Anyways, you guys have any questions? I hope that helps. I hope that answers some of what you've been sort of thinking about and feeling, because there's a lot of changes we've all gone through. Just the first 3 months of this year have been like, oh my God, has it been 3 months since January 1st? And it has. And as we push into April now, things still are on this, what Spirit says is we're on the accelerated path right now. We're all on the accelerated path of growth on all levels. And it's just the way it's going to be, because as we get closer to 2020, things absolutely need to change. But in the process, they are breaking down. And if I'm going to go through a breakdown, it's going to be a breakdown of my blocks and my resistance. That's where I'm at. Like, I'm fine with the breakdown, but can we just remove all of the blocks and all of the resistance, right? That's kind of where I'm at as far as working through my own stuff. If you need help with your stuff, if you really, you're like, I know there's something there, I just can't see it, just book a session with me. And I am working this weekend. I'm not going anywhere. Glad it went a little long. Oh, me too. It's good to see you. So Soul Fast is open always and still at the price of $27. I'm going to keep it there at least through April, in which case May hits. And then I believe at that point, enough people have had a chance to get it really affordably, and then the price is going back up. So if you have people that want to get into Soul Fast or the empath class at that 85% discount, get them in now before the price goes up. And it's theirs to keep. Like we repeat every 30 days on the Soul Fast, and the empath class is theirs to keep. If you guys have not watched your empath training again and you've slacked on taking care of your shielding and stuff, hi Lori, go back and watch it again and create for yourself an empath checklist, which Mandy, I'm going to have work on doing a daily sort of checklist for you guys so that we can kind of go, okay, I did my gratitude, I did my this, I did my that, and shielding and clearing, so that you guys have like a quick reference sheet. Make sure you're taking care of your energy. It's going to be super important as we move forward in the year. All right. So have a good day. Here's one thing I'm going to share with you guys real quick. I have spent the last 24 hours kind of battling with our store. And I'm telling you this because I know some of you guys are entrepreneurs and you run your businesses. And I've been pulled back and forth with different people telling me, because the fulfillment center that Bella and I have chosen for our products is US based. They're based out of California, and North Dakota is another fulfillment center. Their prices are higher than some of the other fulfillment centers and warehouses. They're probably one of the highest price. But I chose them originally because their quality, they're reputable, they've been around a long time, they're transparent, they have good customer service. So if any of the orders get screwed up, I know that I can get a hold of some. They're an actual company in LA with several hundred employees. I almost switched over to a different company because the profit margin is almost double what it is with our current fulfillment center. And a lot of people have said, that's the way to go. If you want to be successful in business, you're going to make better profit, blah, blah, blah. And I almost went in that direction. And then I started to feel funny about it again. And I started to look up reviews and finally decided we aren't going to be able to offer some of the products they offer that aren't offered on with our fulfillment center. But I am not about to, I'd rather take less profit and charge less, make less, and put out a higher quality product that I can stand behind and put my name on than go with a shitty company just because their profit margin's higher. Like, that is who I am and will always be who I am. So for those of you who are doing your businesses, and you're looking at whether it's a website provider or you're doing something like we're doing where you're designing things and you've got a fulfillment center, be careful with the intention, because Spirit told me this morning as I was getting ready to redo a whole bunch of our products and put it on this other, with this other shipper. Spirit kept telling me, don't do it. I was like, but it makes more sense financially that we would make more money. Spirit kept saying, don't do it. What was your intention at the beginning of starting this business? High quality, good customer service, something you can believe in. Right? This isn't just about getting designs on t-shirts and selling a product and making a profit. That is not what this is about. This is about creating a quality product with great graphics and design that you've made that last and that people actually enjoy wearing because it's comfortable, because it's soft. Yes, it costs more money to do it over here, but that's why you did it this way from the beginning. Don't go back on your intentions now. So for those of you, and I know how hard it is when you're starting a business, you're trying to figure out, especially if you're doing e-commerce, where do I host my site and who do I choose for fulfillment? Stick with your intention. This is why I tell you guys, always figure out your why before you figure out your what. And right now we are all being forced to look at over and over and over again, from relationship to health, to job, to where we live, to what we're doing for work, like business. What is your why? Why are you doing it, right? People don't need a ton of other cheap ass t-shirts. Like, you want cheap ass mugs and t-shirts, there are a million other providers out there. No, they don't have our graphics and they don't have our affirmations and stuff. But they're cheap. You want cheap, you can go to Walmart. You can go online and get cheap ship from China all day long. You want quality, something that I would wear, something that I would use, something that I will put my name on and stand behind, then you would shop with me, right? Like, there's a lot of people out there doing cheap, and I'm not about to cheap out on that when I don't cheap out on anything else I do. I always over deliver. I don't like under delivering. And boy, did that message hit home today. It was like, why are you suddenly willing to compromise? Because everybody's telling you you can make more money and have a bigger profit margin, but the products are crap, and the delivery is crap, and there's no customer service, and you can't get somebody on the phone. Like, why would you do that, Bernadette? That does not go along with what's in your highest good and what you say you're doing. And I was like, shit, back out. And then just went right back to the original plan. But the ego was like, then you're not going to be successful. And what do you think you're doing? And it's like, what am I doing? I'm doing what most companies wouldn't do. And I'm putting quality above profit. And I think if more businesses had spiritual foundations the way I have a spiritual foundation and I'm running my businesses, I think we'd be in a much better place. So for those of you who are in business for yourselves, think about that. That's what sets you apart from every other business out there. It's quality. And people will come back. Repeat customers are a big deal. And word of mouth will spread, especially when someone's like, I bought this t-shirt and oh my God, it's the most comfortable thing I've worn. You can't find them in the stores. That's that thing. So think about that. I don't care if you're selling t-shirts and mugs, or you're doing readings, or you're doing healings, or your car repair. Quality, intention. What was it? Stick with that. in everything you do, and you will absolutely be successful. The minute I went back to the original, I had someone contact me that wants to make a multiple unit order. I was like, confirmation. Thanks, Spirit. So I hope that helps you guys. I love you. You rather go for quality than cost? Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the way it's always going to be for me. Like, I'm that way too. If I can find something too, like Amazon, I don't know if you guys realize this, like Amazon started, they knocked a bunch of people off of their platform. And there's a lot of sellers and shops like me, mom and dad shops, that are actually, they knock them off their platform after building their business there. They just took them off because Amazon's trying to remove all the people in the middle, right? And they're like, oh, well, we see how much money you guys are making, so we're going to just remove you from the platform and we're going to go direct to the supplier. A lot of that stuff still comes from China. Like, I won't get my stuff from China. I'm just not going to do it. There's enough crap out there. And I don't want to be responsible for someone wearing a t-shirt that's dyed and came from China, and then they've got like rashes. Because my dad actually got some shirts from work that did that. And he had to go to the doctor to get hydrocortisone cream. And it cost him because of the t-shirt his work gave him. This was a couple of years ago. It was ridiculous. Like, I don't want to put out those kinds of products. So, but they're out there. But Amazon is getting there. I'm going to cancel my Amazon Prime membership after hearing about all of that. I'm pretty disgusted with them, even though they're Washington based. Hi, Lauren. So do some research, you guys. Be paying attention to where you're buying things. What did my daughter say? My oldest yesterday said, Amazon used to be cheap. Like, you know, you could get things really cheap, fast shipping and free shipping. She goes, now the only thing that it is, because you're paying a higher Prime rate, she goes, now it's just fast. She goes, but the items don't cost any less. They cost more. And she goes, so you get them faster, but they're shit. She's like, I don't know if I'm going to keep shopping on Amazon, Mom. I'm like, I'm not shopping on Amazon anymore. I'm going to start buying from other people. It's funny. It happened to a friend of yours. Oh, isn't that horrible? I was so mad when I found out about that. I actually closed my Amazon store before launching anything on there on the 8th of March. And on the 11th of March, they removed a bunch of people's stores from there. And I was like, I hit this place on the 8th. And Spirit told me, just pull it down. It's not worth it. Don't even try to build on there. Do it on your own. Praying for confirmation. Ah, good, Lisa. Yeah. So I'm not doing Amazon. I'm mad at them. I'm mad because they're also very much putting other people out of business. They're putting a lot of companies out of business. And a lot of that stuff is coming from China, you guys. Like, a lot of the stuff on Amazon, I would say 85% of the things on Amazon are coming from China. And they're not sourced here in the US, nor are they shipped from the US. Amazon has a warehouse. They can store it and fulfill it quickly, but they're still getting it from China. And most people don't realize that that is the deal. If it's fulfilled by Amazon and it's on your Prime account, they just have it stored in their warehouse, still originated from China. And I'm at this place right now where I've seen a lot of the crap. You might as well just go to the dollar store because it's the same quality of stuff. I'm not going to deal with it anymore. I'd rather pay more money and go to someone local and buy it from my local people. Even though Amazon's local to me, I don't really care anymore. But yeah, I don't know if you guys realize that. So support your local people. Go support Etsy people. Go support people that have their own stores on Shopify like me, and back the people who are willing to take less profit to put out good products that are made and sourced and give jobs to the people in your country. Like our company, they're made in the US, they're made in Latvia, and they're made in Mexico. We don't use sweatshop stuff that is sweatshop. It's hand sewn. It's not done in a little sweatshop. It's recycled material. Like, they recycle the extra fabric that have been cut out of their shirts and stuff. So I felt good about it. They actually just launched a new eco tee that is from all recycled materials. It's stuff like that that's important to me. I don't want to be someone who's adding to the shit on this planet and in the landfills. I want to be somebody who's putting out something that lasts and isn't just crap that's going to end up in the trash or end up in the landfill. Like, I don't want that. And I think more of us have to do business like that. So think about that, because that's the stuff too that Spirit's been talking to me about in business, is like, make sure that you are thinking long term, right? What's the long term effects of putting these things out? And it's important that we actually consider that with the stuff we're selling, that with the stuff we're buying, that with the things we're saying, that with, where we go on vacation, all these things we have to actually start to think about and be responsible for. We have one planet, one chance. And right now we need to clean up that one planet. So I love you guys. I will see you later.